Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where today I want to show you a brand new palette in my collection. This was given to me by a subscriber. I am absolutely delighted, excited, stoked, very surprised, and very blessed by this person's generosity. If you want to see what I'm talking about, don't go anywhere. Okay, so if you're in this community, you know very well which palettes have gone viral, which palettes are really hard to get your hands on. The Wilderness palette from Beauty Bay, the Serenity palette from Cosmic Brushes. The palette that I have today is one such palette. This palette was released, it sold out immediately. I think it was pre-ordered one time after that, and it's quite hard to find, but then if you do find it secondhand, it's usually priced at 2 to 4 times the original retail cost. People are spending $100 on this palette, which is something that I would never do. Therefore, I never expected to have it at all. But then I have a subscriber who has a huge eyeshadow palette collection, and we were talking about this palette, and she mentioned, well, she was thinking of selling it because other things have caught her eye instead. And I told her, hey, if you're planning on selling it, let me know. I probably can't afford it because realistically, I mean, I don't believe in price gouging, but if you do have a product that people are willing to pay 2, 3, 4 times the original price, it's not unreasonable to at least list it for more than you paid. You know, you could certainly make a profit on it. So I didn't expect that I'd be able to afford the palette, but I just wanted her to let me know if she decided to sell it. She gave it to me. I am so, honestly, I just feel so loved. I feel so blessed. Like, this girl is one of my subscribers from early on. She's one of the first, or possibly the first people to contact me to see if she could send me a few things. And since we started talking, she's become just a friend in this community. She's very sweet. We talk on Instagram all the time. I have a few friends. You know who you are. I talk to you almost every day on Instagram. And it's not just about eyeshadow anymore. It's about family and children, homeschooling, marriage, relationships, peer pressure, societal pressure. It's about all kinds of stuff. And I am so grateful to you guys for initially, yes, reaching out to see if we could share something within this eyeshadow space, but really going beyond that and becoming real friends. You guys are great. And to the subscriber who gave this palette to me, I so appreciate you, and I'm grateful to have you in my life. So my subscriber gave me this palette. This is the Christmas Eve palette from Oden. If you know, you know. Oden released 2 palettes last Christmas. This is the Merry Christmas, which is the one that I bought, obviously, and then the Christmas Eve. Let me briefly show them to you in case you're not aware. Here's the Merry Christmas palette, and the Christmas Eve palette is this. So these palettes, obviously, are sisters, and the reason that I only bought one was because I only had the funds to buy one, quite frankly, and I thought, well, if I put them next to each other, which one, apart from the beautiful packaging, apart from the color stories in general, which one has shadows that are more unique to my collection? And that was the Merry Christmas palette. I did love both of them, and it was a hard decision. It took me a couple of days when the palettes had been revealed for me to decide which one I was going to try to get. I had high expectation that they would sell out immediately because Oden does these limited edition releases, and Oden is popular. They always hit the nail on the head as far as packaging, themes, color stories, and above all, formula. They are my favorite brand overall. So I grabbed the one that I could afford at the time. And I always said, I'm proud of myself for not spending money I didn't have, for not going into debt for an eyeshadow palette, right? But I still wanted the Christmas Eve palette. Look at the colors. I think that this is absolutely beautiful. Now, this is the one that a lot of people expected I would go for because it's cool tone, and that is my preference. It also looks better on me general, but I thought that overall I might be able to dupe the vibes more easily. And I am completely stoked to play with this palette today. But again, more than that, I'm just feeling so loved. She could have sold this so easily. She could have sold this for 2 or 3, maybe 4 times what she paid for it. People are paying a lot of money for this palette right now. They are absolutely beautiful. And now my sisters are together. Thank you so much to the wonderful lady who sent me this palette. I am grateful to you. So let's get started with an eye look. I'm priming my eyes with the Glamlight Icing Primer. This is the shade Buttercream, and everything that I'm using today is linked down below in the description box as always. I also am going to link down there an Oden playlist. I have lots of Oden palettes. I believe I have the most palettes from that one brand in my collection, if that makes sense. And it's just, I think Oden is great. I really like their formula. It performs exactly as I want it to. The colors are true to pan. The color stories are interesting and varied and quite lovely, so much fun to work with and so inspiring. So down below I'll link my Udensai playlist. I will also link my week of playlist because I did an entire week of uploads using just the Merry Christmas palette, and I also have the Norns palette in that playlist. There are other Udensai palettes in that playlist. My husband is definitely woken up, so I'm going to see how much I can get done before he comes downstairs. This is a medium blending brush, and I'm grabbing the shade Ice Crystal. I just noticed I'm going to throw Ice Crystal like in the top part of my crease and buff it out. I just noticed that there are some misspellings in this palette. Now, Udensai is a Swedish company. I give them a little bit of grace for misspellings because they don't, English is not their first language. However, isn't English the most widely spoken language on earth? Yes, they are a Swedish company, but I do think that they should have a copy editor for some of their spellings. And I want to talk about that a little bit because it just came to mind when I saw some of these misspellings. But first, I'm going to take the same brush into Nightfall and put that in my outer crease and corner. Oh, that's a pretty color. Okay, so some of the misspellings on the inside of this palette, we have Silvery Dream instead of Silvery Dream. And that one is also spelled that way on the back of the palette, back here. Back here, there's a shadow called Naugare. And on the inside, it's correctly spelled Nowhere. And then over here, we have Lemon Tart. But on the inside, it's Lay Mob. And then here, it's Fleeting Time. But the inside of the palette says Feelting Time. I'm not complaining. Again, I am so stinking excited about this palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and quite frankly, these little misspellings give it a little bit of extra character. The newer palettes that they released, the Stone and Rock and the Jewels and Gems, those are pretty too, but they have a lot more either misspellings or just words that are not actually words. Or you have something like elatedness, which is not a word. The word is elation, but the next shadow in the palette is called elation, and I think that the Udensai, especially because they're doing everything else right, they really need a copy editor for the names of their shadows. I hope that didn't sound negative. I'm not sitting over here trying to bash Udensai. Here's a smaller and denser blending brush into the shade Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve palette. I'm going to throw this in my, like an outer wedge out here. I am not trying to bash the company. I think Udensai is great. They are overall my favorite brand. They're one of my two favorite formulas. At this point, I honestly have to give favorite formula probably to Sydney Grace. Sydney Grace has an absolutely stellar eyeshadow formula. Amazing. I haven't tried any of their other products. I don't even know the extent of what their other product lines are, but their eyeshadow formula is impeccable. So I think Sydney Grace is my favorite formula, but as far as overall everything, packaging, color stories, performance, formula, everything put together, Udensai wins. And Udensai wins hands down. It's not even a competition. Like, other brands are not even close. They're just not. They might do a good job with packaging, but the formula is lacking, or they might do a great job with color story, but the formula's not there. I don't know. Udensai is great, and they really are my favorite overall brand. So I'm so excited about this palette. I want to bring in a little bit of a purple matte, so with that same larger blending brush, I'm grabbing Nowhere and just tapping this on the edge of the blue. This is a very gray-based purple. I mean, it would certainly pull more purple if you were pairing it with other purples, but because it's being paired with the bluer tones that are blending into my blue undertone skin, it's looking a little more gray-based, but that's pretty. Now let's grab a flat brush, and I want to take 3 of these shimmers, honestly. 3 of them. So I'm going to start with this flat brush in Silvery Dream. I'm going to load up my brush and then spray it. I'm going to place Silvery Dream on most of the center of my lid. I'm going to leave some space over by the mattes over here for a different shadow, and then I'm going to use a different shimmer for the inner corner, but I'm just laying Silvery Dream on the center of that naked lid space. It's kind of got like a rose gold undertone. It's really pretty. It's one of the warmer shadows in the palette, like a silvery rose gold, but it's not, I don't know that I would say it's warm toned. In the pan, it looks kind of brownish. On the eyes, it's different. I don't know. It is warmer. It certainly brings in a different shadow or a different undertone. I'm going to take the same brush and grab Gorgeous and again spray it. Oh man, this looks so pretty. This looks like a peacock feather. Let's see what it looks like on the eye. This one seems to be the sort of shade that wants to be the focal point, Ooh, oh, it's so pretty. Okay, on the eye, it's got a lot more purple and pink in it. In the pan, it's got blue and purple And on the brush, like I said, it looks like a peacock feather with some green. Lovely. And now I've grabbed Snowflake on that same flat brush and I'm putting that in my inner corner. I don't want to totally cover the shadow I laid down at first, so this is more of an inner corner highlight, and then just on the inner third of the lid space. I'm taking that smaller blending brush I used before and I'm dipping back into Nightfall and Christmas Eve very, very lightly, and I'm just tapping those back into this outer corner to make sure that the blue is still quite present. I don't want it to be buried by the shimmers. And I don't want the shimmers to carry all the way on my lid space. I do like about a 2-to-1 ratio where my lid is 2/3 shimmer and 1/3 matte. I'm going to bring that beautiful Nightfall shade onto my lower lash line as well. I recently saw Morgan Turner and a couple other people who seem to know what they're doing using a larger blending brush for their lower lash line. Like ordinarily I would take a small dense blending brush so that I could precisely lay this color on the lower lash line, but I've seen other people doing this with a larger brush. So I'm gonna lay this on my lower lash line, and I'm not sure, I think the benefit is that, it's hard to do this while talking, hang on, or at least while looking at the mirror. I think the benefit is that it diffuses the color, really buffs it out because it's a larger brush. It's not nearly as concentrated in that area. And I'm experimenting and deciding if I like that or if I prefer it to be a very concentrated color giving definition to that space. Do you see it diffuses the color more, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm trying the technique. What else should I do? Ooh, so pretty. I want to take a small blending brush and grab Blue Ice. This is the light blue shimmer. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to put it on my eyes, and I'm gonna spray it. I'm gonna put this on most of my lower lash line. Yeah, I think I'll grab a smudger brush and go back into Christmas Eve and just smudge right out here. I'm dipping that same brush into Snowflake and just enhancing my inner corner sparkle a little bit right here. There are so many things I could do. I keep thinking of piling this lighter purple shimmer on top, but I don't want to gild the lily. And this, I'm so excited about this palette and it's so inspiring and beautiful. I just want to gild the lily all over the place. Gilding, no, stop touching. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up. I'll be right back. Here we are after everything's done. Let me tell you what I did to finish off this look. In my waterline, I used 2 colors from ColourPop. The blue is called Crystal Crush and then the pink is called Fluffy. I put the blue in the outer half and the pink in the inner half. On my lips, I'm wearing ColourPop lip oil in the shade Paper Pansy. I did do a winged eyeliner, inner and outer wing, and I lined my lashes. On my face, I've got a little bit of Tulum from BH Cosmetics and a little bit of highlighter from the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. That is everything. I did put on mascara, of course, but besides that, that's the rest of the look. Is anybody surprised that this palette created a beautiful look? I think that this look kind of embodies the feel of this palette with a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple. It's just so gorgeous. This shade right here, the Blue Ice, which is I put on my inner lower lash line, it reminds me a lot of one of these sparkly colors from the Adept La Cienega palette, which I do have. I don't remember what that shadow is called, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So this look I think is amazing. I am so grateful to have this palette. Again, this is not about eyeshadow. It's about friendship and generosity and kindness. The woman who gave this to me so easily could have made a fortune selling it secondhand. And I told her, I was like, why are you not selling this? And she said that she just wanted to be a blessing. Essentially, the reward of giving it to somebody whom she knows has wanted it and is really going to enjoy, use, and love it is much more than whatever money she would have gotten for it. So I am so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to have this palette in my collection, and thank the rest of you for watching this video. You guys are great, and I appreciate all of you for who you are. I thank you so much for your encouragement, your kindness, your generosity. Many of you have sent me things, but apart from that, you're always so encouraging and loving in the comments. Again, this is not even about eyeshadow. It's just about community, and I am so grateful. Thank you for being with me here today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the eye look. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Do remember to like and subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more content. Again, I'm uploading several videos every week, and I will see you guys again in my next one. Bye!